Good afternoon, everyone. This is Johnny Farias here again at Community News. Thank you for joining us today. I have the pleasure of having Julio Guzman. He is a staple of Homestead. And instead of me telling you all about him, I want him to introduce himself. Julio, thank you for coming out. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Johnny. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you to talk about great things that are going on in my beautiful city of Homestead. My name is Julio Guzman. I am a proud Dominican American who lives in Homestead over 47 years. I am a real estate broker. I have a team of about 70 agents that I help build careers. So I've got more of a, like a team builder, a productivity coach. So I help students that become realtors learn how to have a lasting career in real estate. And part of what's helped me become a better leader is I spent some time with the Homestead government as the vice mayor of the city of Homestead. And that opened up a world of experience and information when it comes to how to promote a city, how to advance a city, how to understand a vision of a city. So it's really, really nice for me to be sitting here talking with you about all of the great things that are happening in Homestead.
Wow, that was light, and I appreciate it. And yes, I remember when we first met, way back when. We're gonna go into specific dates, but yeah, I've seen you come a long way, and it's an honor to be your friend and watch you grow.
Likewise.
In the things you have.
Likewise.
But let's talk a little about the real estate stuff. There's a lot of competition in that. What sets you aside from, others?
Well, I think the first thing that sets us aside, Avanti Way as a brokerage and me as the branch leader of Homestead, is when we deal with clients, we're really trying to solve problems, because people, when they're thinking about buying a house, you don't want to just consider this person, okay, they're going to buy a house and there's going to be a commission that is going to be exchanged here. No, you want to understand what are the goals, what are the true goals of that family, what are they trying to accomplish, and all of the other professionals that we connect with, whether it's an accountant, whether it's an attorney, whatever it is, they could have an elderly person in their family. Have they thought about, estate planning? Have they thought about a will? So we try to really understand what the goals are of the family, and then we create the path on what would be a pleasurable experience, so it's not a stressful experience when you're buying a house, because it could be very stressful.
Oh, yes,
when you're buying a house. And when you got the right team in place, you can mitigate that stress down to a bare minimum so that it's a pleasurable experience.
Okay, so let's say, for argument's sake, there's a listener right now, or a viewer that wants to buy a house in Homestead. They call Julio. What's the first steps that you would take? Because do you help them find programs? Because a lot of people not aware of first-time homeowner programs that you might be aware of. What are the steps that you're going to do once they call you?
Yeah, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation, understand what their goals are, and we're going to qualify them to see if they qualify for a mortgage, because without qualifying for a mortgage, there's no sense in going out. But even if they do not qualify for a mortgage, the best thing you can do is give them a path to home ownership, because obviously they've shown interest in wanting to purchase a home. So if they don't have the requirements at the moment, you create a path and you say, hey, look, here are the few things that you've got to start doing to get your credit in order and to get your finances in order, so that you are prepared and you look favorable in terms of a mortgage lender. Then what I'll do is I'll sit down with them and have a conversation as to what kind of house are you looking for. And I try to tell people that you don't always want to buy the Cadillac, the nice, shiny, big object, because it's expensive in Miami-Dade County. We're one of the highest, in terms of real estate markets in the country. So if they want to buy the beautiful big house, they might just be working to pay that mortgage every month. And that's not a real true quality of life. So I typically tell people, hey, buy something that you are comfortable with, that makes sense for your family, but doesn't break the bank, and that you can still have a good quality of life without having to work just to pay that mortgage.
Right.
And then slowly you can grow into other things that you might like if you wanted to do a new bathroom, if you want a new kitchen, if you want an outdoor terrace, whatever it is you want to do. But slowly you can start molding that house into how it represents you and your family. And that's what I think is a better path. However, I don't discourage people from saying, hey, I just got a great promotion. I'm the head of whatever corporation now. I got a huge raise. I want that shiny big house. I say, okay, if that's what you want, if that's what makes sense, then let's go for it.
No, right. I appreciate that because, I've heard stories where, other people don't take that initiative to help you and give you the reality. Some people they want to sell you the house, they get their commission and move on. So that's good that you're worried about them not only now, but what's going to happen to them later.
I always think that any person that you're working with, that person is ultimately going to become your friend because you're giving them so much knowledge and you're helping them reach a new stage in their life that you want to basically hold their hand through the transaction and through the real estate experience so that you become friends, and then you stay in touch with them, throughout the years. You wish them a happy birthday, you wish them a happy anniversary, and you wish them a Merry Christmas, and you stay connected with them because ultimately the really, really good realtors, they have the ability, like you do, Johnny, you do that very well. They have the ability to stay in touch with their past clients. And that's where a lot of the referrals come from.
Right.
So I think if people consider doing that, if they're not already doing that in their business, please make that a part of your day-to-day. Stay in touch with your past clients, because if you're a real estate professional and somebody that you've done business with or transacted with years in the past, if they send you a text and they say, hey, are you still in real estate? That means you're not doing something right when it comes to staying in touch with your past clients.
Right, of
course.
What I mean?
So you never want that person to say, if you're still in the same business, because that means you've never touched them again. You've never called them. They don't ever see an email from you. They don't ever see anything from you. And you're missing out on a huge amount of business when you don't stay in touch with your past clients.
Exactly. No, I totally agree 100%. Housing is one of the biggest talked about issues, whether it's at the kitchen table, whether it's at the political table, everywhere. We're talking about housing. City of Homestead has grown.
Yeah.
I remember back then, nobody wanted to live in Homestead. Now everybody wants to move to Homestead. I mean, the traffic going and coming out of there is just incredible. What's your take on what's going on with the housing? What's going to happen? City of Homestead, how's it growing? What do you see in the near future for the City of Homestead?
I think Homestead is very well positioned to be one of the premier cities in Miami-Dade County. And again, City of Homestead has grown. We are the 4th largest city in the county, right? So a lot of people, I think the way the demographics and the way the shift is happening in housing, people are gravitating towards having a home with a yard, because if you go to Miami-Dade County, you get these small, tiny condos, and people are tired of living in condos, and they want to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle. So you want to now be in the suburbs, what we call, Homestead. So back then when people would say, oh man, that's way too far, I'm not going down to Homestead.
Right.
Now it's starting to be a place where people desire and they want to live. So now people are paying premiums to come and live in Homestead. And I knew it would happen. I just didn't know when, because I kept telling people, hey, you guys say I live far. One day you're going to want to live where I live.
Right.
And now that that's happening, it's really nice for us to be sitting on this side saying, all right, guys, why don't you come over to where we're at? So that's happening in Homestead. The prices are, even though they're more economical than they are in other metropolitan parts of Dade County, Homestead is still a place where you can get a great single family home with a nice size yard. You don't have to always worry about, there are places where you've got, the associations and the HOAs, but some people like to stay away from HOAs. You can have your quinceañera party in your backyard. You can do a lot of great things in Homestead that you can't do in other places throughout Dade County.
No, I totally agree with you. I enjoy living out there now, and I've been there for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. In fact, when I first got here, Homestead Air Force Base was my last duty station.
Okay.
My daughters were born there.
Okay.
They were born at the base. But yeah,
Homestead is one of the things that we've always been proud of. And I don't know what the future of the base is, but I do know that it's a huge economic engine for
it is
the surrounding areas of Homestead. So I would love to see, Homestead Air Reserve Base continue to be a beacon in South Dade.
No, hopefully they're listening, and they'll listen to you, and I'm pretty sure it will be. Like you said, it's been a staple there forever, and I don't see it changing. But yeah, you said you were vice mayor.
Yeah.
How was that run for vice mayor? You know, did you enjoy it? What do you think about the politics?
No, politics are great, you know, when you're doing it for the right reasons, when you're doing it because you think there is a problem that you can solve or that you can help. So my tenure during vice mayor was great. I learned a lot. I'm always of the notion that you could learn from your peers and your colleagues. So when you have that mindset and you all have a collected vision to, you know, make the city better than it was yesterday. You know, there's always efficiencies that you can make in all of the departments. There's always a way that you can enhance the quality of life. There's always new commercial businesses that you can attract down to the city of Homestead, which is one of the things that I think Homestead needs. You know, Homestead, like I said, is the fourth largest city in Dade County, yet it doesn't have the same amount of jobs that other cities have. So, you know, one of the things that I think would help tremendously the traffic in the city of Homestead is if we were able to bring better paying jobs down further south.
Right.
Because people would call it a bedroom community, right? It doesn't necessarily always have to be a bedroom community. This could be a self-sustaining community where all of the great jobs, all of the great schools, all of the things for entertainment, you can have that all in the same place without people having to leave. And ultimately, that's the goal. We want to create an environment where people can work, eat, play, you know, and they could
play here, work here.
They could worship there too, you know, all of those things we want to have within the city of Homestead. So a city within a city is the ultimate goal of the city of Homestead. Now in government, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to accomplish those goals, because in the private sector, if there's a decision you want to make, the buck stops with you. If you don't like the color of this table tomorrow, you change it to red, purple, whatever color you want to change it, and that decision is made. But in government, you got to go and you got to get
the rules slow.
You got to have the consultant tell us how that's going to affect the retinas in our eyes, and sometimes the bureaucracy of what happens in government delays the process. But when you've got a great city manager, which we do have an awesome city manager, Dr. Ziri Ihekwaba. He's doing a phenomenal job. When you've got a great city manager and you've got a cohesive council that has all the same vision to see the city progress, right, those kinds of decisions are made a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I've been quite a few times now to downtown Homestead, and I mean that's growing.
Yeah. I'm a stakeholder down in downtown Homestead. Avanti Way Realty is right across from Losner Park. I'm proud. I don't know if you were able to go down to Winter Wonderland where they had the ice skating rink right in Losner Park.
No, but I didn't go to this year. I usually go to the Christmas tree lighting and stuff like that. But this year I did not get to go.
So yeah, there was thousands of people that went down to experience ice skating. And I don't remember ice skating until when Sunshine Skating Rink used to have it. I think that was maybe 30 years ago. It was a very long time ago, but it was nice to see the amount of people that came out to enjoy ice skating in Losner Park. So downtown Homestead, there is a vision for downtown Homestead. And if you drive through it now, you'll see renderings on the windows of certain buildings that the city owns down there. And they want to attract, more outdoor dining. They want to attract more entertainment. They want to attract just a more vibrant life down there. So they're making some changes. The city is expanding the streetscape so that you can have a larger sidewalk. So now you'll be able to see more walkability and you'll see people sitting outside, similar to what you see in Miracle Mile and in Midtown,
City Place,
some places of the Grove. So I think the city's on the right track, and the leadership of Mayor Losner has made that happen. So there's a lot of great things happening in the city of Homestead, and many people back in the day would say that downtown looks a little depressed. It may be unsafe, but Chief Mario Knapp, the new police chief, doing a really great job as well. He's cleaned that up. You don't see hardly any crime at all in downtown, and it's really made all of the residents and the business owners feel very safe to be there. And we see a tremendous change happening in the downtown area.
That's good. Do you, I don't know if you want to answer this or you want to maybe do, how can I say, can we see Julio Guzman in future politics of Homestead again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's always a desire for me to to continue to help in whatever capacity, even if I was there to help the council. But obviously, I've got a desire to continue to serve my community. So it depends on timing as well, which we know in politics, it all depends on the right timing and really when you see things going wrong. So when you see things when you see things that you want to change because there are inefficiencies that you can no longer tolerate,
right.
That's when you really start putting your foot down and say, okay, you know what? Because a lot of people talk about things, but they don't ever do anything, right? There's people, neighbors and other residents say, oh my God, everything is bad in Homestead. Well, if everything's bad, let's do something about it. So sometimes you get around like-minded people, and those people sometimes put their foot in the door and they make things happen.
Mm-hmm. I want to go into, you were part of the Rotary Club?
I'm still a part of the Rotary Club, yeah.
For the listeners out there that don't know what the Rotary Club is, what they do, can you give us a little bit?
So Rotary Club is a civic organization that, was founded in 1906, by a gentleman named Paul Harris. And it was basically a few guys would get together, just like you and me right now. We get together. You're a doctor, I'm a lawyer, and we go, why don't we start getting together every week and talk about how we can enhance our community? So they created this club where they would get together and talk about things they could do to, make their community better. Right. So that small mission turned into a global phenomenon. And now the Rotary Club is one of the organizations that has, tackled polio. They wanted to make sure everybody had clean water. They wanted to make sure that every city has an economic engine that is helping that city progress. So the Rotary Club, on a smaller level, we basically do the same thing in Homestead. And in order to continue to do that in Homestead, we create fundraisers. And one of the ways that it creates a win-win for the city is we host what we call the Stone Crab and Seafood Festival, which is now, it'll be our 8th year. And it's become and turned into a huge signature event for the city. Have you been?
Of course. Of course I have.
So it's a huge event in the city of Homestead. It's being hosted this year, March 7th and 8th. And this event is where we've got great entertainment, live bands. I'm not going to drop who the big headliner is yet. I don't want to give everybody a spoiler alert, but we're going to have a huge entertainment venue. This guy, when you guys see him, you're gonna be impressed. And also the food that you get there.
Right.
So it's a fun family event where kids can go do the play zone, they could do the bounce houses, they could do the laser tag, you could do all those, and you could eat great seafood. There's also a bunch of merchandise vendors that go showcase their, whatever merchandise they're trying to promote. Mm-hmm. And all of the funds that we raise from that event goes to scholarships for those young adults that are looking to go, to universities and to get higher education. Okay. One of the things that we're doing this year is we're opening up that pool so that those kids interested in vocational jobs can now also get scholarships. Because we know the way it's been going traditionally with universities, now it's almost like you need a PhD in order to separate yourself to get really good job out of college. Yeah. So you can get a master's degree now, and it's like, well, everybody has a master's degree. So now the only way I think kids stand out is if you go to one of the big Ivy League schools. You go to Harvard, Yale, MIT, Wharton School of Business. Those are the guys that come out and they go work on Wall Street and they get these big consulting jobs. But the everyday,
or you become an electrician.
That is the future. That is the way of the future. There's electricians making more money than doctors right now, and a lot of people don't know that.
Surprised.
So for those of you out there that are thinking about getting into a vocational electrician, AC mechanic, AC tech, these jobs are paying very, very well. So we're opening up, the Rotary Club is opening that portion up so you guys can get scholarships to go to those tech schools as well.
No, and I agree with you. I mean, I've been talking about that for years. And in fact, my son the other day, he came over and told me, "Look, Dad, he was watching something that the five highest paying jobs in a couple of years is going to be electrician, plumber." and I said, "Okay, yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for years." And yes, I totally agree. I mean,
you can ask an electrician right now, yes, and what do you get paid per hour? They're like, well, $75. And to most people, it'll be like, wow, and that's on the low end for electricians, $75 an hour. I'm like, man, you guys basically be attorneys now, you know? Yeah. So yeah, we're really proud of what we do. I mean, one of the main reasons, or one of the reasons I enjoy being a Rotarian, is seeing the looks on the faces of the parents of these scholarship recipients we give these funds to. Man, it's amazing to see, because not everybody has the ability to go to college, right? And not every parent has the means to send their kids to college. So when you give a young student the opportunity to go to college, and you see what it does to the parents and how grateful they are, that they are just melted in tears because they never thought that their kid can go to college, and they're first generation college students. That is a very, very good feeling to have when you're on the end. You're the person, or you're the organization giving that scholarship. So that's one of the highlights of being a Rotarian. It's just one of the things that we do that make it really, really special.
No, I totally agree. My trust gives scholarships too, and yeah, I've seen the faces on the young adults and look, even $500 goes a long way, because $500 can cover books, can cover certain things that sometimes the regular grants and other scholarships might not cover at the time.
We've given over $1,250,000 already in scholarship money. Last year we gave $120,000, and that's really, really proud. It's a proud moment for me to say, because there's not a lot of organizations that give $100,000+ in scholarships. And like I said, a win-win, because we're doing an event that the family gets to enjoy, and from that event, kids are going to college.
You're helping out.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So just to get everything in perspective. So if you want to buy a house, okay, or you're ready to buy a house, you go find Julio Guzman in Homestead.
Yeah.
Avanti.
No, I'll tell you what. Avanti Way Realty is the name of the brokerage, and it's in Homestead, 47 North Chrome Avenue. Part of the experience that we bring as well is having the knowledge of understanding what kind of zoning you could be in, because there's a lot of people that want to, have commercial buildings in Homestead, or they want to open a church, or they want to build a warehouse, or they want to build a steel building, or they're a contractor and they want a place to store, all of their materials and supplies. So sometimes the real estate agents don't truly understand what goes on behind the scenes when it comes to the city's code. Right. So you've got Miami-Dade County with the code, and you got City of Homestead with the code. So having the experience of understanding what these people want, these business owners that may want to expand, they may be driving by and they see a lot, and they're like, well, I'd love to have my business there. But you got to have the right agent to tell you, hey, you're wasting your time because it's not going to happen, or there's a good possibility that you can get a variance to have that business there, or a special exception permit to have it there. And that's not something that you get taught at real estate school.
No,
this is where the experience comes into play, and it kind of helps you get these decisions made quickly so that you can do better business and help these people establish or expand their business to Homestead. So that's one of the other parts of what we do and how we help businesses expand to Homestead.
No, that's important, because I guess, like you said, not everybody has that knowledge, something that you've been able to acquire, and that's good, because that does help out a lot, and it cuts out a lot of time, from when someone's looking, because just looking for a place that you want to buy can be hectic. Not only the process of it. So,
and what happens to la abuelita who lives next door or lives down the street or something, says, hey, I just got this violation on my house for XYZ reason. Abuelita who lives down the street, maybe she's widowed, maybe she doesn't have family that lives with her. She would like to have someone that could at least explain to her in plain English or Spanish to say, hey, this is something that I could help you resolve. You don't have to do very much. They just said you put your garbage out a little bit earlier. So next time, maybe don't do that, right? But unless somebody goes that extra mile and tells Abuelita that that's what's happening,
right,
it's going to continue to happen. And then that little code violation, notice of violation, ends up turning into a citation, and then the citation starts to accrue interest, and then they send Abuelita, hey, you've got to go in front of the special magistrate or special master, and she's like, what in the world happened here? So I think part of what I try to do is help those that may not understand all of the all of the ins and outs of what happens in government. So you try to be that voice to kind of make it common sense for them.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to do down there in Homestead.
Well, I'm glad Homestead has a Julio Guzman, because, we need a few of those out here in Dade.
I think also there are elderly people, that may not cook anymore. They may not be able to physically take out their garbage. So what happens when you get a storm, when you get Hurricane Andrew's coming, shouldn't there be a database of a list of elderly people that they could say, hey, do you need some help putting up your shutters? Or do you need help? Do you need transportation to a shelter? I don't know if there is a database that can service those elderly people that are alone and do not have family here. But I think that would be something necessary and beneficial for all municipalities in Miami-Dade County. I don't know if they do or don't, but I think this is something that solves a problem. And I think the people that are in those positions, along with their family members, would truly appreciate if cities were to have a list that they could contact to help out.
So can I say this is one of the things that you would do when you become mayor or something?
It's one of the things I do.
There you go.
If I were mayor. One of the things I would do, I would have a database and a list of elderly people, and in that list, and they can have their family members help fill it out. What are the things that are needed? What are the things that can and cannot do? And then I would try to find, a budget to help out in that aspect.
Well, yeah, that is great. Those are great ideas, and I look forward to the future for what you run for, to see what you do and the great things you do. Because as a non-elected right now, you do a lot. Look, you're Rotarian.
Yeah.
You're involved in the community. You're a job maker.
Yeah.
And you help people, try and get in their homes, which right now homes is one of the most important things that people they're trying to get. Buying a home, it leaves a family legacy behind, and that's what we all try to do.
Excellent. Thank you for having me on here, Johnny. Like a lot of people say, success leaves clues. You've been leaving a lot of clues, a lot of crumbs. So we appreciate what you've been doing in the community as well. You are leading by example, and you are a true pillar in our community as well.
I appreciate that.
All right.
I really appreciate that, Julio. So everyone, now you want to go live in Homestead, you need a place, you don't know what's going on, call Julio Guzman of Antiway Realty.
Or you can find us on Instagram, Julio Guzman _Homestead. You can find us at Avanti Way Homestead on Instagram. And yeah, we're very easy to get a hold of. And again, thank you.
Please, the Seafood Festival, March 7th and 8th.
March 7th and 8th.
March 7th and 8th. Bring out your family. There's no cost to come in.
No, there is a cost to come in, but you get early bird. Early bird costs $15 if you go onto the homesteadseafoodfestival.com. You can find tickets there. And it's good so you don't have to wait in line when you get there, because it gets about 25,000 people.
Oh, wow.
So you want to get there.
When's the best time to go?
You can go at 11, 12. It's a good time all the time.
Good time all the time.
Because it's from 11 to 8 on Saturday and from 11 to 6 on Sunday.
Okay, well, I will be there.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you.
I'll definitely be there. I've always enjoyed, especially seafood.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, man. Thank you very much.
No problem. Wait. Thank you again to all the people tuning in, the listeners, the viewers. This is Johnny Farias again. I look forward to our next show, the next meeting. Everyone be safe. Have a great weekend. Thank you.